Guess who's back? 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 Guess who's back?
Allow me to reintroduce myself. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing all this. I'm in quarantine season. I'm wearing a mask. No, it's actually to mask the fact that I've aged. I'm so old. I went studying, hibernating, and training in Nepal this whole time. That's why I was gone from the channel for about a year. But I'm back, and I'm woke. I don't know if you saw this coming, but if you did, hey, what up? We're back. We are back. It's your boy Sky. Not even Spire, just Sky. Because the Spire part is really just there to differentiate me from all the other Skys out there, and I promise you that is subject to change. But whatever. We're back, and I'm happy to be back. So you're probably wondering why we're even back. Well, this video is being recorded during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's in light of this pandemic that we're coming back. There's a few things that I want to talk to you guys about that are very important to me. I've always wanted to make a video that was all about what the channel was like since the beginning, and the history of this channel, and why it's so important, and where we're going from here, because there's a lot of thoughts that have been ruminating in this year that have been gone, and I think it's about time we do it. And I am going to help you guys visualize it, because I want to make this fun. I never wanted to do stuff that was boring for you guys, or just ramble and make sure it's not entertaining. No, we're gonna make this fun. I'm gonna help you guys visualize this history lesson and what exactly has been going on. The past never returns. What returns is not the past, but a present that has distant roots to it. That's why what I'm about to go through is very important. You'll be able to see exactly why we're doing what we're doing right now. You'll be able to see what this channel means. It's like a Draw My Life. You remember that? You remember Draw My Life? Those were the good old days, right? I miss Draw My Life. We're with the trends. That's what's up. So let's start at the beginning. Everything started on January 1st, 2014. Now, 2014 is when I started the channel. I was legit like all the other 11 to 13 year olds out there. I lived in Barcelona, Spain for so long, and during that time I binged a lot of YouTube videos. I always wanted to be one of those LPers that kind of just, I don't know, hit it big and just had a bunch of fun. And I don't know, my long middle school days, I spent all my time in school. I would start school at 9, I would go home at like 6, I'd be home at like 6:30. And I remember pulling a lot of late nights just binging LPers on my iPad. So I don't know, I just wanted to join that. Who wouldn't? What 11 to 13 year old wouldn't want to? So when I met someone on December 4th, 2013, a certain friend of mine you may know, it was this really big eye-opening moment. It seemed like this amazing way to get in because he had a gaming YouTube channel. And a few Pokemon and Smash Bros. Brawl videos later, I got a capture card. And that's it. No microphone, just a laptop mic, no standards, no reason that anyone else would want to watch these old videos made by these 13, 14-year-olds. It was just having fun. Making video game videos, playing video games, getting into high school. Life was just simple. In February, me and my YouTube partner in crime made the Mirror Skeptics channel, which was a collab channel that, I don't know, it just seemed cool. It just seemed like the cool thing to do. The point is, it was just simple. It was just really simple, and we were just having fun, and there weren't any bigger scope things to worry about because we just liked gaming YouTube videos and we wanted to copy them, but it never stays that way too long. The longer you spend around people, the more possibilities you become aware of, the more you want to branch out, the more new things seep in, the more you want to grow up. (2015). So Skype days prevailed. Skype was the thing. I loved Skype. I still use Skype, honestly. Just because I have friends who aren't video game fans. I don't think that's so uncommon, right? The Vine was the biggest thing ever. I got into Vine and I met some of the most important people in my life, which will always be better than TikTok. No, I think that's just another trend I never fell into. I don't know what the whole deal with TikTok is. You guys are gonna have to teach me. Like, my friends are viral on TikTok now, and they just were on there for like a month, and they just did some drawing stuff, and now they have 200,000 followers. By the way, the maker of Vine, Dom Hoffman, he made a new social media. It's called Byte, B-Y-T-E. You can check it out if you want to, in case you were one of those very faithful Vine fans like me. So YouTube-wise, I did the same stuff. I did a lot of LPs, but I wanted to branch out a little more, specifically into the community that I was a really big fan of, the Earthbound community. And over this year and the next year, I would start covering Mother 4, which was a really big fan game to do with the Mother series, which was only intended to be a trilogy. So when I started covering this fan game, this fourth game, it became a really big deal. I still get comments from people asking, yo, when's Mother 4 going to come out? It's a whole story. But I actually got in touch with a few of the people behind on the team, and it got me in touch with a few Earthbound fans, and it was really nice because Earthbound is a game that's very near and dear to my heart. So it always felt really good to be able to feel like you're not just a person on the spectator side of things. You could also like interact with the people who make content, you know? Those videos are all me as a prepubescent teen who doesn't know anything about graphic design or how to talk. I don't like watching any of them, but they exist and people still watch them. I don't know why. Besides co-hosting some Smash tourneys and live streams on Twitch that almost no one watched, I was still just having fun. I made some new friends, I had more fun, but there was never a purpose to the channel. Not this year, at least. There was never a purpose, and that's the important word. Because when you get to the age that I'm at, that's the biggest thing. Role identity. So, I remember another funny story from 2015. I remember December 4th, the exact same day I met you-know-who. Good, what a king. Xenoblade Chronicles X came out, and that's a game that I still actively hate to this day. But it was the sequel to my favorite game ever, and that was always... It's so funny how, like, that game, me playing that game for the first time, is documented on this channel, because to this day, that date, that game, it means so much to me, and I'm glad that was on this channel. I think it actually sparked something, a little thought of mine that I had next year. I had a new online friend group because of Vine. I had all of these different ways to play around with some gaming content, but it was never really... Oh, wow, that is gross. Wow. I never put any thought into it because I just wanted to have fun with an online friend group. You can see over these last 2 years, it was just, you know, kids having fun, no bigger scope, anything. That changed. May 2016, we quit the Mirror Skeptics. We just figured doing 2 channels instead of 3 would be better. And I'm sorry to all of our fans out there, all the fans of the Mirror Skeptics, all 70 of you. I'm sorry, I know, it was a long run, but we were on to bigger and better things, I guess. So I hit up a content creator, Innocent Christoph Gavin, who is now IKG Productions. He was the first content creator friend I had, and I knew I wanted to collab with him, and that's a long story. I don't know if we ever ended up doing a formal collab. We did end up, okay, well, on my channel, yes, we did do live streams together. But, and I was on one of his podcasts, but aside from that, it was really nice because he was the only, you know, actual content creator friend that I had. And it was through that lens that I was able to see a lot of, like, how to run, like, a Discord server, or what to learn about YouTube and stuff. What are your standards for, like, view to sub ratio and, like, what you should work on. I remember a lot of that outside perspective I got from him. But June was a very important month in 2016. So a very close friend of mine, this elementary school friend, and this video's on the channel, an elementary school friend of mine who was my best friend back in California. She and I split paths after I moved to Spain. But about, 8-10 years later, me living here in Texas, she, by like a stroke of luck, I don't even know what are the chances of this, considering there's no tie between me and her to do with this, but she apparently has family here. So she decided to come here to visit her family, and then also we could come visit her. And this was so crazy to me because as an elementary school kid, you never think that, you know, everyone is the same when you're in elementary school. Everyone has the same interests. Everyone does the same stuff. So when I heard that this person we're now 16, both of us, and we're going to meet up, I'm like, okay, we're not going to have anything in common. Everyone by that point branches off from when they're 6 to when they're 16. Everyone has their own route and their own interests and stuff. And I thought she'd take, like, the wrestler route, and I would have taken the dorky route. And no, we were so similar, and we hit it off. Not right away, but we did hit it off after just staring at each other for a long time, going like, "You're real," and it was so great. But we never would have actually stayed friends unless my mom let it slip that I have a YouTube channel, and oh my god, that is so embarrassing when you're a teenager. Because if you're making gaming videos in high school, you don't want people to know about that. When you're prepubescent, when you're just, there's no level of quality to it, you don't want to market that. You don't want that to seem like, oh, this is who I really am behind the mask. This is my life of screens. No. But I'm so glad she did. I'm so glad my mom said that. Because other than this friend started tuning into live streams, and then we hit it up. We hit each other up again. It was so great. But the most important thing is she asked me why I made a YouTube channel, and what I said to her was kind of spur of the moment, and it was kind of eye-opening in a way. It's going to explain a lot of the weird decisions that I make from this point onwards. I love telling stories. I lived in Spain, I met all kinds of people, and even back in my hometown of Cali, lots of crazy stuff happened that guaranteed life would not be stable. Like the fact that me and my mom would be professional nomads in terms of where we work, where we live, what kind of friends we have, stuff like that. So I told her I have a YouTube channel so I could document my life in a lot of different ways. By making vlogs, telling people how my day went, or by starting live streams so I could trade advice with friends, or even just like looking back on old videos and seeing what I thought of people in my life. How I talked or how mature I was. There's no better way to archive memories than having hours and hours of it on the internet, even if it comes in the form of very cringy video game videos. Once I told her that the goal of my channel was to document my life, and to be able to look back on myself and see how I grew up and what changed, I took that to heart. Okay, that's fucking cool. Yeah, speaking of cringy gaming videos, oh my god! Yeah, we don't talk about that. So this whole year was very cringy. It was a year of videos that I'd honestly rather not watch, either because it's filled of, high-pitched me, or it's filled of videos of me talking about topics that I don't really like. August 3rd was the time that I uploaded this. I swear if I see one of you guys mention this video in the comments, I will private it, because I don't even like that video. But even though I don't want to actively bring it up, again, I don't private it because I like documenting it. Don't want to erase memories, I made a video that went viral, and that's in history now. Why ignore it? I made that video, the viral video, for an audience of 100 people. I still didn't take stuff seriously. I didn't spend that much time fact-checking. I didn't spend that much time editing, because it wasn't meant for an audience of 1 million people. It was meant for 100. It was meant for, that's the average amount of views I got. Even, actually, no, at that point it was more like 17. I don't know. The point is, that video was not meant to be high quality in the slightest. It was meant to be a small little video that documented my loose thoughts on a video game that I could just send to someone whenever they asked for my opinion on this game, because that was actually a topic of contention back at that time. It sparked a debunk video, it sparked a Mario Kart Tour related video with the same title scheme. But, I can't even act like this was a bad year. It was really awesome. This year was actually great. There was, Overwatch came out, and Overwatch was a huge deal to me. I love that game. I really do. I did some LPs with the closest friends in my life. Literally, those LPs were so nice. The Switch came out, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out, and I remember I was all over that hype. I spent a lot of time hyping the game up, and it actually worked out for the better. I ended up collaborating with 1 or 2 people as a result. Remember how I said in 2016 I made friends with a certain content creator who, from their perspective, I was able to get a better grasp of what it was like being a content creator? Well, on August 5th, yes, 2 days after this video, I opened the Squad in the Sky Discord server. It's the Discord server for the channel. It became a very safe space to come back to. Filled with people like you. That's how simple it was. I did not expect that Discord server to grow into how important it is to me now. We'll get there when we get there. I met Kyle that summer again, and I had online friend meetups, even more of them, which started to become very normalized around this time. I had so many more people and so many more trips. Online friend meetups just became the norm starting with this year. I also did the first live play. Live plays were the big thing on the channel before I did a hiatus. I did Danganronpa V3. I did that on the week that it was released. That's when I started taking stuff semi-seriously in terms of thumbnail graphic design, in terms of scheduling and managing chat and stuff like that. Before that, I just did fun live streams for the sake of it. But starting with the Danganronpa V3 live play, I did start to take things kind of seriously. And it was super successful. I just came up with the idea for the live play because people really love interaction. Being able to interact with the streamer, but also have it in a Let's Play format that to some people is outdated. It worked out so well. I loved the idea of doing live plays. That's what I call it. Does anyone else do live plays? I don't know, like, at least I'm the only person I know who, like, uses that term, but I ended this year with a plane trip up north that changed my life for the absolute better. It changed my life, and it was an absolutely amazing Christmas and New Year's, and it was just the perfect way to end off a all-around good year. Are you ready for the highs and lows to get really strong? Because best year of my life. I was really well balanced between online groups of friends and the channel server. They both became families in a way. I got to collab with a now friend of mine, the animator Dangani. We collabed over a Xenoblade video that's on his channel, and then we did, the following year, we did a Mario Party live play series on my channel. He's a great guy, and I'm really glad that he reached out to me for that video because it was another one of those things where I got to branch out into these online communities that I already appreciate, but I didn't actually know people in, I didn't interact with people in. In August, I recorded a video right here talking about how I couldn't afford Adobe Premiere Pro. I couldn't afford to edit videos anymore because Adobe Premiere Pro is like $200+, and I was going to go into college soon because that was August, and that was... Actually, now that I think about it, that was the month that I started college. Yeah, August 2018? Yeah. And I remember I actually did a Mario Odyssey LP just to see if people liked those more than live plays, and the views didn't say so. So I actually asked my live stream chat, what would you think about me doing more live streams, more live plays? What would you think about me doing podcasts? All of these different mediums that didn't involve heavy amounts of editing that I could do with some third-party editing program, or no editing at all, doing everything live. And the chat, like, oh god, I absolutely love this community, how wholesome it is. Everyone was saying yes, that's totally cool because we in this community can manage to make things entertaining and engaging without editing. And that's not something unique to our community, but it is something I'm proud to be able to say nonetheless, because it made the next year so fun, really did. I did an Earthbound live play, my dream Earthbound live play, that both explained gameplay tactics, but also was a form of storytelling where I was able to get new people into the game and explain why it was so impactful from a developer point of view, and also from the point of view of the characters in game. Just a really great way to ease people into what Earthbound is like and why it's so valuable. That was my dream live play, and I got to do that, and it was just so great. Live streaming wasn't really a form of income, but it was a creative outlet. It was a social outlet. It was a way to further work on voice improv and people management and different forms of entertainment. It was just, I got to create another safe space for people to come back to, and that is so valuable, so valuable. December of 2018, the stupid video went viral. Yeah, it didn't go viral when it came out. It went viral like a year and a half later for no reason other than YouTube's algorithm. I do not understand why. I don't even think Mario Kart Wii was like trending in December 2018 unless like Troy WD's coming back has something to do with it, which I doubt. I don't know. I have no clue why the video even blew up. I was just sitting there, and then it got 40 40,000 views on December 5th, 2019, I believe. I don't get it. I also started the Life of Screens podcast. It was a way to visualize the life of screens that we all live. It's targeted towards those people like us who balance an introverted real-world life with the haven of anime and dorky video games and movies and online friend circles at home. Balancing those two sides of your life, all of the topics that we talked about had something to do with that. There's one we did about relationships, there's one we did about how much you play video games. There were just a lot of really good topics, but it had this theme of understanding. It was one of those things that everyone understands but no one acknowledges, you know? The fact that you're balancing this dorky home life with something that you try not to acknowledge outside of the home. Or maybe you do. It was just a great podcast. It was great, it was amazing, and it shouldn't have ended. The only reason it ended is because this was 2018. And 2018 was college. Actually, no. I literally got this notebook out so I didn't have to explain things with token words like college. Let me explain this better. Okay, college hit halfway throughout this year. And due to the lingering thoughts in my head, I knew I couldn't thrive without liberation. Liberation was a huge word in my mind. I worked hard to get a car, something I never cared about until I realized how much I wanted liberation. How much of a mark of individuality it was, really. I worked hard to get into colleges, but with the reality of money getting even more apparent, and with my online friends I've relied on all these years distancing themselves because of their college schedules and stuff, there were less methods of social outreach. But I was fine. I was happy. I had companionship. It was fine. I was doing vlogs at the time because they seemed like the most efficient way of getting my goal across, of documenting my life. But I also realized that I was living the life of an introvert who rarely went out, who didn't hang out with friends outside of a classroom, all because they either had better friends to hang out with or they had work, and I only had a certain amount of things to do. Vlogs just weren't the way to go. They weren't that much. There just wasn't much to record. For a sizable chunk of this year, I was living magic. I was happier than I could ever be. I was emotionally opened up to what kind of interactions, what kind of life I could be living. But I was also living with very repressed negative thoughts that I didn't know how to interpret. And I only understood it after the damage was done, but it was fine because I was living in bliss. In short, it was the happiest, best year of my life, but because I was still pretty young, I didn't understand what would come. Okay, yeah, this one's really bad, and it's befitting of this year. Worst year of my life. I'm not going to make this one sound all sappy and ask for pity or anything like that. That's not what I'm asking. But this is why I always say that self-evaluation is the greatest virtue of all. If you're feeling down, identify the source. Then you're no longer suffering from this invisible, vague force. You know what needs to be done. In 2016 or so, 2015, I fashioned myself as Mr. Optimist. Don't do that. Don't ignore everything and just solve other people's problems and ignore yours, because it all came crashing down right when 2019 started. Consciousness, acknowledgement of the fact that there are issues, even without whining about them to everyone else. Just knowing they exist, that's so much more conducive. And because a lot of weird things happened at the beginning of this year, it was a domino effect of problems. It started with spending only 2 weeks in my bedroom, only going out for like food. Then there was a car crash. Then there were in-person arguments. There were very heavy decisions made, and money led to a very drastic change in plans. And I will say something, I did not want to get defeated by it. I really didn't, because I was never the type of person to put everything, to put away everything just for myself and for my self-care, because I didn't have a concept of self-love back then. And that changed by the end of this year. That definitely changed by the end of this year, because look, you can even look in the channel. I did more live plays, and I think, you know what? Sorry, I know I'm all over the place. The Hat in Time live play. That live play is so important, because if you look at the dates, that will confirm what I'm trying to get at. The Hat in Time live play started when all of this crappy stuff in 2019 started. And I did the first episode, because it's like, this is a cute-ass game, and it's fun, and people like it, and it's easy, and it's short, and we'll just get it through, because I want to return toward a return to normalcy. Wow. Yeah, that was bad. It was a 3-episode series. The first one was bad. The second one was worse. That was like, I made the second episode during, like, almost during the peak of when I was at my worst. And then the third episode, I waited for a really long time to make, because I wanted to take some time to heal, And I just kept telling people, like, yeah, I'll finish it. Just like, I don't like the part of the game that I'm at, and I just want time to think about things. The Hat in Time live play is such a silly thing. So that was odd, to say the least. After the Hat in Time live play, I just spent a lot of the rest of the year to myself. I took 2 trips to Florida. I spent a lot of time reconnecting with old friends. I spent a lot of time researching mental health, reading very influential pieces of literature and movies that spread human awareness. I furthered my psychology degree in college. I took my first sociology class. Sociology. That's going to be a key word. Sociology is about the function and structure of human society. It's about all of the strings that we leave behind, how they all weave in together, and the web that we all create as a whole. Therein lies a new desire. In this period of not doing anything for the channel, therein lies a new desire where, a new goal for the work that I do. It was no longer to document my life. It was no longer to document all the things that went on and my mental state or anything like that. The goal became to spread those values of introspection, of self-evaluation, of human awareness, of looking closer behind why things happen, and the capacity to create a safe space away for those who need it. I wanted to create work that I felt confident could provide people some form of reassurance, to imply that retrospection, introspection, they're all so valuable. So April was when I started to pick myself up, because it was before April that I didn't feel like I had a role. I felt like I was drifting. I didn't feel like I was a part of something else. I was just myself, and then I realized I could be a part of something, an ambitious project that I can play a role in as its creator. And stick around till the end of this video, because you'll see soon enough. I promise there's a reason why I'm speaking vaguely. But in light of this new desire, September was when I made friends with someone who could help me with this project, and they're one of the best friends I've ever had now. November of 2019 was when I met that old elementary school friend again. This time I flew to visit her, and it was what I needed to pick myself up again. And then light started to shine. You're probably thinking, what? I know, this sounds stupid. Australia was devastated by wildfires, locusts invaded friggin', East Africa? World War III might have happened. Mr. Peanut died. And we're now in quarantine because of a viral threat that we assumed we'd be prepared enough for to be able to keep the status quo. How is 2019 a good year, you ask? I'm not saying it's good or bad, necessarily. There is a strong fear of the unknown going on right now, a lot of misinformation. Speaking of which, did you know that Corona takes part in, I think, 10 to 30% of all colds out there? And the only difference with this one, or the main difference with this one, is that it's easily transmittable? The more you know. That's completely besides the point. I'm in a unique position. Barring the fact that I'm already that kind of introverted kid who always stays in, and the fact that I already compulsively wash my hands, so many people out there aren't equipped for this. The very nature of their friend circles being so physical isn't accommodated by the quarantine, and they're bored. They're just sitting at home, and I'm ill-affected as well. We're not getting any income, and I can no longer fund my dream project that I've wanted to do this whole time because I can't afford assets. It is a difficult time for all of us. Future Sky gonna interrupt this video really quickly, just because, if you couldn't tell, my thoughts were all over the place while recording this video, and while I did manage to get all the events out there in this history lesson, I didn't really piece them together as well as I would have hoped. I wanted to illustrate that the idea of doing videos just because it's fun is a concept that becomes so vague when you're my age. Time, effort, money, you don't feel justified to spend them anymore without a sizable reward. I wanted to illustrate the roller coaster of events and emotional states I've gone through in the last few years to give you an idea of why I have a more specific driving force of mental awareness behind what I do now, YouTube or otherwise. And most relevant to right now, I would be working on the project right now if I could. That is what I want to move into my future with. That is my passion. But quarantine happened, and because of that, I can't fund it. It is ill-affecting all of us, and I don't like to be drifting without a passion any more than you guys do. Hence, this. So, in this time of social distancing, everyone can use some social outreach, right? And I want to do my part to help you guys out with that. I could talk to you guys about information regarding COVID-19 that isn't fear-mongering and is actually productive and optimistic in its own way. At the time of recording this, a friend of mine is still scared that her dog will transmit COVID-19 to her, and that's not how it works. So, just as an example. Anyways, what I'd rather do is provide a place to be. We can play games, we can chat, we can laugh together, we can do fun challenges together, we can dork out, we can do so much together during this quarantine season online in the form of live streams. Look, the governor of Texas recently made a decision regarding our schools that makes it sound like this quarantine season is not going to end anytime soon. So let's do what we can. I want you to know that we are so loving and inclusive with all of our streams. I have a small group of co-commentators to keep us all company, and I'd love if we could just get together and really make the most out of this time. Speaking of valuable people, I can't give enough thanks to the Squad in the Sky Discord server. The Squad in the Sky Discord server has become a family. They've become a very incredible group of wholesome people. Just so multicolored, so radiant, so kind and wholesome and sweet, and I really encourage you, if you need people to talk to, or if you want new friends, and if you want to just play games with people who are like me, or like, you know, like you, because we got so many people in there, join the Squad in the Sky Discord server. I highly suggest it. So, throughout this whole video, I hope I was transparent enough. I really wanted to make a video where I explain why I was gone for so long, what the original purpose of this channel was and what it is now, what I want to do now, because we are taking a different change in content, a new step, a new direction, words, and I always wanted to give a little history lesson. We've been here for 6 years or so? Yeah, 6 years. And I've never done anything retrospective like this, and I'm a very retrospective person. So I wanted to do that, and I think it leads into a very good segue now that you guys are able to understand where my goals are coming from with all this. Let me be even more transparent. I don't have the same dream as I did when I was 14 of hitting it off big off of YouTube LPs or whatnot. No. All of this return, this rebrand, this whole positive, wholesome interaction with you guys, this new direction and new intent for our channel, it's all for one very serious goal. It's to build momentum towards the biggest project I've ever been a part of. And the team I am getting together to make this dream come true. It's all for this. I'm being vague and secretive because the smartest play is always to save your strongest, most valuable card for the right time. We are going back to live streams. We're going to have a lot of very inclusive, very lovely live streams that will all have content that you can focus on. Something positive and fun and nice for you to focus on. A new group of friends for you to interact with. It's all in the hopes that you can find a place to fit in and find something positive to give yourself to. Find something nice to insert into your everyday if you just are bored or whatnot. I want to do my part to give you guys something positive to do and help you guys not feel as alone in the world or as distanced as social distancing makes us feel. And just remember, while we're working towards flattening that curve, I want you to know that right now you are given an opportunity that you're not given very often, which is to focus on yourself and prioritize that over all of the needs that the outside world demands of you. Our community wants to do everything we can to help boost our spirits and give us all something fun and enjoyable and engaging to focus on. I know it's been rough. It's been really rough. A lot of rough things have happened in the outside world in the last few months, and a lot of rough things have happened for all of us in our private lives. But if you want to see the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. And after how long we've been doing that, I think it's about time we see some light around here. Live streams are back, and they're going to be the cozy place to be. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. I can't even begin to describe how much this video means to me. Stay kind, stay cozy.